Recent reporting on the Medellín killing of Jonathan Acebedo-Garcia repeatedly describes the victim as a cooperating witness in the case against Ryan James Wedding. Yet nothing about his circumstances resembles the reality of a protected cooperator. A genuine witness in a transnational narcotics and homicide investigation would never be left living openly in Colombia, moving freely through public locations, or remaining within reach of hostile actors. Standard procedure would have required extraction, relocation under an alias, secure custody, or at minimum coordinated protective measures implemented through the U.S. Office of International Affairs, RCMP liaison channels, and Colombian authorities. Someone classified as a cooperating witness in a case involving retaliation, organized crime targets, and cross-border violence would trigger mandatory safeguards that cannot be informally skipped or quietly overlooked. The fact that none of these were applied makes the publicly reported label inconsistent with the operational reality. A far more coherent explanation is that he was never a cooperating witness in the strict procedural sense, but rather a peripheral information source whose name surfaced through indirect channels. In multinational cases, individuals may appear in intelligence reports because they made casual statements, were referenced by others, or were merely perceived by the defendant as having talked. These distinctions, critical inside investigations, often collapse once the information passes through prosecutors, communications staff, and journalists. Language such as provided information relevant to the investigation is easily transformed into cooperating witness in public retellings, even when the person in question never entered cooperation agreements, proffer sessions, or protective programs. Once recognized as a mischaracterization created through semantic drift, the inconsistencies in the government narrative cease to be puzzling but remain troubling. First, it creates an avoidable appearance of contradiction. The public is told a murdered man was a cooperating witness, yet everything about his circumstances contradicts that description. The longer that contradiction remains unresolved, the more observers infer either unexplained negligence or unexplained motive. Neither inference serves the clarity of the investigation. Second, it dilutes the rationale behind the indictment and reward. If a false or misleading premise becomes the perceived foundation of the case, especially one as emotionally charged as the murder of a protected witness, it risks overshadowing the actual evidence and operational facts. Third, it encourages the growth of alternative narratives. When the official account contains a visible structural flaw, the informational vacuum that surrounds it tends to be filled by speculation. People rush to solve the inconsistency themselves. Some explanations become conspiratorial, others become accusatory. These interpretations may be incorrect, but they arise because a genuine contradiction was left unexplained.